Hey guys, Bruno here with Warehouse. Today I'm going to be walking you through our simulator we have here and some key components for you guys to look out for when you are purchasing your own simulator. So here on the Warehouse simulator, we have some of the top of the line components. To start off with, something you really want to look out for is a racing bucket seat. This gives you the best support while you're driving on the sim. You could spend endless hours on this thing, honestly, so you want that support. And it also gives you kind of that immersion feeling as well, being in a racing seat. So on the Warehouse simulator, we have that equipped as well. Another big component to look out for, and something I use as well, is the direct drive wheelbase. So we have the Fanatec DD2 on here. This is a really important part. Gives you the best feeling while you're driving on the simulator. Since you don't have motion in some cases and you can't quite feel the car as you would in real life, having a wheelbase that gives you that response is really important, so you can be able to catch the car or get a feeling of what's going on in the game and simulator. So super important, and something we have equipped here as well, along with the Fanatec wheel that we will go into later on, with multiple buttons and good controls that are really important. Gives you a better driving experience. The biggest thing as well in my opinion, with the sim is the pedals. We have the V3 Fanatec pedals here. I think as an upgrade, pedals are the first way to go. So it's really good. We have one of the top of the line pedal sets on this simulator. Really important to give you that feel and control and modulation on the throttle and on the brake especially, which is probably the biggest way to find time on the simulator. And then to top it all off, sturdiness is super important. You don't want flex, you don't want movement on your sim, so having a full aluminum rig is super important. So on the Warehouse simulator, we have a SimLab full extrusion rig, super important. On my personal sim, I also have aluminum. It's super important. Gives you that comfort and almost confidence that you're not going to be like wiggling around while you're driving and taking on all the forces on the simulator. So all in all, we'll go into some more driving aspects and whatnot, but to look out for is the seat, the direct drive wheelbase, and a good load cell or hydraulic pedal set as well. So, all right guys, so the first thing we're going to touch on is the driving position, which is super important. You don't want to be too laid back or too up close with the car on the simulator. So driving position is what we're going to start off with. First of all, with your seating position and whatnot, you don't want to be too close to the wheel because you don't want to have to like bend your arms while you're turning or getting opposite lock. So you kind of want to find a happy balance, about a little bit of a bend in your arms until you can be comfortable. Just about here, so that when you do get opposite lock, your arms are not going to completely cross or touch, so that's super important. And then your legs as well, very crucial. You want to have a little bit of a bend to them, but you also don't want to be too crouched up or else you're going to get some pain in your knees. So nice little bend in your knees, probably like 45 degrees is what you're looking for, and that's going to ultimately result in your best driving position. Again, find what is most comfortable for you, but this is my opinion and kind of what you want to get as close to. So, all right guys, so something that's super important, like we talked about, is the wheel itself. Obviously connected to that direct drive, which helps you get a good feel for the car. Having a good wheel is super important. So here at the Warehouse, we have a quick release system equipped already, and we have the Formula One Fanatec wheel, which is absolutely gorgeous, and it's very highly functional. So obviously you have a nice girthy, grippy grab that's super important to have. But the big thing is all these buttons that are available to you. So if you need to do a tear-off button, pit speed limiter, whatever else, it makes your driving experience a lot more comfortable and easier having all this functionality with you. On the back, lots of options as well with the clutch paddles, shifting for the paddle shifters, and some extra switches on top. So having a nice functional wheel is super important, along with that quick release, so you can get that wheel on and off as quick as possible. So like I mentioned before, having a nice bend in your legs and knees is very important and crucial. We're lucky to have here the Fanatec V3 pedals, which are really nice pedals, and along with full adjustability with these sliders. So we can get the pedals in its proper position. Right about there, you can see just a little bit of a 45-degree bend. You can have your feet flush on the pedals themselves, and this just gives you the best control. And so here on the Warehouse simulator, we're currently running the iRacing software. This is a service I love. Coming from the real world situation and driving experience, there's no simulator that quite compares to iRacing, just with the feel and handling. as well as the variety and selection of cars. iRacing, which makes it so competitive, is the garage area. So you can get full selection of changing any of the setups from springs to anti-roll bar to anything, honestly, toe, camber, caster, and it all correlates and reacts just like it would in the real world. So there's no better simulator, in my opinion, than iRacing, and it's very lucky that we have it here on the Warehouse Simulator. There's multiple options: Assetto Corsa, Automobilista, anything like that. Not quite Forza, but you know, there's some other options out there. But for us here at Warehouse, and personally for me, no service quite touches iRacing. It's, in my opinion, the best. So something very important on the simulator is your viewing experience, how you're gonna handle the car, how you're gonna visualize the track, the car combination. So here at the Warehouse, we have probably the best virtual reality. Nothing gives you as much immersion as a VR headset does. You feel like you're in the car, so we're lucky to have that here on the Warehouse Simulator. A couple different options. I personally use triple screens, so that kind of goes around you, so it's a different level of immersion. It's not as immersive, but it's a way to get immersed in the game. As well as ultra-wides, which are becoming super popular, so like a 49-inch TV that just kind of spans out wide. Your field of view changes a little bit, but it's all different ways, kind of depending on your preference on how you want to visualize the game, but all different ways to kind of get that representation of driving and full immersion. So super important is the audio factor as well. How are you going to hear the car, tires squealing, whatever it is. Not that you want to be sideways, but drifting is fun, you know, and you got to hear that. So with the VR headset, kind of comes already with audio from the side and gives you that immersion from viewing and the audio, so it's super important and helpful. Here on the Warehouse Simulator though, we have the surround sound speakers, which is super cool. Another option as well for you. And a gaming headset is another viable option as well. As long as you're fully immersed with the audio, you can kind of hear what's going on as well as feeling. Those are all super important pieces and different options you can get from the VR headset to a surround sound speaker setting or just a gaming headset as it is. All right guys, and the final very important component on a good simulator is having a full aluminum rig. So on the Warehouse Simulator, we have the SimLab, which is high quality, one of the best brands you can get for aluminum extrusion. I as well have an aluminum extrusion, although not being SimLab. I still go for that aluminum feel that gives you full sturdiness, full confidence, and no flex while you're driving on the sim. So there's aluminum on the direct drive base, so there's no flexing with all the forces that it takes. The pedal set and whole pedal area has really good support. On the side, if you have a shifter or a handbrake, any add-on like that, there is aluminum support there as well. And then just all around holding the seat in place so there's no moving around if you get in and out of the seat, or if you go to lean in a corner, whatever it is. There is no movement, no flex, and it's super important to have that in a simulator. So getting an aluminum extrusion on your rig is probably the way to go.